Hello and welcome everybody in YouTube world and Facebook Live world. We are WordPress St. Petersburg, and you are here tonight for our Ask Us Anything, our crowdsourcing WordPress support workshop. Below me on the stream are my fellow co-organizers for WordPress St. Petersburg, Elaine Simmons and Jennifer Novak. Say hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hello. And I am Jim True, and we shall get started. You are here for the WordPress St. Petersburg. We meet monthly on the first Tuesday, except for this month, which is the second Tuesday. We meet monthly on the first Tuesday of the month at 6:30 p.m. online only through 2022. Now I need to update that. The Meetup website is meetup.com/WordPress St. Petersburg. Our website is wptampabay.org, and on our website you will find links to all of our communication channels, our Slack chat, our Facebook group, and all of our meetups. We are a member of the WordPress Tampa Bay Network, which is a loosely consolidated group of meetup groups that meet throughout Tampa Bay. Right now that would be St. Petersburg, Newport Richey, Tampa, and Bradenton. Yeah, Bradenton, right? That's not Bradenton. I'm sorry, not Bradenton. Brandon. My God. It's been a while. They are not meeting regularly, and neither is Tampa. Newport Richey is currently doing a WordPress Talks, which is like a Twitter Spaces. They're trying to post them before they go live, but hopefully we'll get some more information about how to connect with them and post it on the Facebook group as well. Okay, our upcoming meetups and events. Next month, on March 1st, we're going to have another one of these and Ask Us Anything. We may flip that to a WordPress 5.9, what's going on with the Goots. Or getting to know the Goots or something, because Gutenberg has now released with WordPress 5.9 full site editing. And it is definitely quite a difference and a change. So something to check out. We will let you know if we're going to change the theme for that particular evening ahead of time. Also, here's the link. I kind of grabbed the graphic from Newport Richey's last WordPress Talks, so that you could get kind of an idea of what we mean when we say hashtag WP Talks. If you search for hashtag WP Talks on twitter.com, you will find a link to most of their current Twitter Spaces. So far they've done how many, Jen? Like 3 or 2?
Three.
Yeah, three of them. And he brings guests on. It's actually quite nice. He's done 2 in the evenings, and he did one on a Saturday as well during the day to try to get more people from all overseas and stuff to make it more accessible. So it's worth checking out. We are still looking for speakers. If you have done any talking or want to do a talk on WordPress, web design, front end, back end, plugin reviews, theme reviews, anything pertinent to WordPress, web design, entrepreneurial stuff, well, we'd love to hear from you. If you've never spoken public before, that's not a problem. All of us are doing it live stream right now, so no one will be looking at you. It'd be fine, except for the 8 viewers we currently have out there in YouTube land or Facebook Live land. This is also great for your resume, your LinkedIn, or your Twitter, so worth checking out. If you're interested in doing this, go to our website at wptampabay.org/speakers/call. It's also from the menu at the top. It's click the speakers button and call for speakers. Code of conduct tonight. There are no stupid questions except the one you didn't ask. If you don't ask something, we can't help you. We're going to be limiting our question discussion to 10 to 15 minutes so that we don't overwhelm the call with just one question. And any more than that, and you should be hiring a consultant. And if you do join the call tonight, please be aware that everyone gets to speak, but no crosstalk. Crosstalk was really bad when we were in person, because we would be in the room and you'd hear people having conversations in the back, and it would be echoing all over the front. Nowadays, when people crosstalk, it just means that you end up talking over the top of someone on the live stream, and no one can hear what anyone's saying. We have a dial-in etiquette as well. If you click the link for our to join the call, You'll be provided a link to go to StreamYard, and StreamYard will provide you guest instructions on how to set up your mic and your camera so that it will share with StreamYard. You first need to make sure that you've got your connection configured properly and that you've tested your mic and your speakers. The most important thing when you're dialing into a call with us is make sure that if you're also watching the stream through Facebook or YouTube, to mute the video or mute the audio in those windows. You'll know you've got it or not if your little tabs up there have a little speaker or speaker icon in the tab that lets you know that you've actually got speaker in that particular window, and you want to go in there and make sure you mute those windows or just close them. So let's get started. Any questions tonight? So we're going to start with the stop sharing that one right there. We're going to start with the questions from Meetup, since that's where we have the most of them at the moment. Sydney Lee asks, can you recommend a web designer and developer in the area? Now, what we do is we haven't done this on our site yet, as far as like publishing a professional directory, but on our Facebook group, we do have we do have ads that people have posted to let you know that they are an expert in one or the other areas. And if you're interested in looking for a job, there's two places to go for our local stuff. Go to the Facebook group and post in there that say, hey, I'm looking for some help. Kind of like try to give some idea of what you're looking for and maybe your budget or your time frame. And then you'll be definitely get some hits on that particular post. You can also join our Slack chat. The link for that is on the website, wptampabay.org. There's a little link at the top that says Slack. It's also listed in the first paragraph for Slack channels. You'll join a form and fill out an email, and you'll get the invite to our Slack chat. And we have a jobs channel there that you can also post your job. That's the best place to get started with anything like that. Okay, and let's see, next question. I don't think we've got any from our chat yet, so I'm going to keep going from our Meetup. The next question we have is from Araceli L. I think Araceli. And she asked the following: is managed WordPress worth it? From my viewpoint, yes. I have used both WordPress or WP Engine and Flywheel, which now they're both the same company, and I love it. I know for like our business that I work for Gravity Forms and their support, and we use Pagely, and they also provide very high level echelon concierge service through their managed WordPress as well, and it's highly worth it. You pay more, but you're getting you don't have to worry about all of the WordPress setup. You don't have to worry about any of the configuring the server host to work properly for WordPress and installing the little pieces and everything else like that. That's just going to work for you. So I would leave it open now to Jen and Elaine, though. What do you guys think? How do you feel about managed WordPress?
I think it is depending on the host, and depending on your needs, depending on how much effort you want to put into managing it. I also would recommend SiteGround. I think Flywheel and WP Engine, I've had accounts with. I think they are better. They are more expensive, but if cost is something that you want to consider, I would look at SiteGround. I like all three of the above because they're, to me, I like having that access to that one-click staging site. To me, like, that makes everything and the cost worth it, because that way you know that when you're updating your WordPress version, your plugins, your themes, or whatnot, or just making any changes to the website, you know if it's going to cause an issue before you push it live. So you've got that staging site, and it's just so easy versus creating a staging site and having to manually move it over. To me, that makes it worth it. So again, it just depends on your budget, how much time you want to put into managing it yourself.
And to give you kind of a ballpark, for one site, like we've got our WordPress Tampa Bay website on Flywheel's tiny hosting plan, and the tiny hosting plan gives you the WordPress managed site and staging. It doesn't let you have multi-site for this price, and doesn't let you have any other sites than just the one website. But that runs about $150 a year. It's more expensive, I think, if you pay monthly. And then like I had an agency plan with Flywheel, and that was 10 sites that I could run. Some of those could be multi-site if I wanted to, but that of course takes away from the total number of sites you're allowed to have in the agency plan. And my agency plan was $100 a month. What are some ranges for SiteGround, Jen?
Sorry, I didn't catch what you said. For SiteGround, is that what you
For
said?
SiteGround, yeah.
SiteGround right now they've got I think it's the first year they've got discount, like a steep discount. First year starting for one website is at $3.99 a month. The regular price is at $14.99, so it will jump to that the following year. So it's from $3.99. That's per month, but it's the first year.
Got it.
So the second year it's going to jump to that $14.99.
Yeah, I know they used to have a geek plan too, where
yeah, that one ranges. So the first year is at $10.69 a month. That's their highest level. The first year is at $10.69 a month, and that's discounted from $39.99 a month. And that's unlimited websites, 40 gigs web space.
That's actually not too bad. That's not bad
No.
at all. Yeah,
It's to me, like I mean, Flywheel and WP Engine will do a lot more for you. Their support, customer support, is like vastly superior, but SiteGround, like I get what I need from them. So it just depends on what you want. I've got a WP Engine account still. I've got a SiteGround account. It just depends on what I need where, and how much support I think I'll need for.
I know when I used to deal with SiteGround, I used to their first level was not great. But once you got past first level, you were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that trick to get it
exactly. Well, like even Flywheel has that
still,
too.
Like some of it you need is just basic stuff. Like
Well, like even Flywheel, they have like the chat bot, and then you get to first level, and then you get to second.
Also have special discounts for nonprofits.
I think
remember
so.
we were doing all that
think
nonprofit
they
work, and they
do.
were with SiteGround, and they were getting, it was like $5 or $6 a month.
Yeah. I know you got to look for that kind of stuff. I think most of the hosting companies will do that to some extent. You just have to find out where to look for it. Now, who else do you use, Elaine? Because I know you've used quite a few others. Local Stack.
Opal Stack. OPALSTACK.
I've not heard of them. Now, Kenneth says, I use Linode, but I'm full stack and love to tune for subs 1 second page open. Yeah, so Kenneth wants to do it the really complicated way and get all the way in there. I don't want to do that. I long decided quite some time ago that I'm getting too old to manage all those little pieces. And that's kind of I think that's kind of the thing, is that you have to recognize that if you're doing managed WordPress, someone is really going to handle all your day-to-day WordPress stuff, and the support people that you request out are going to know WordPress backward and forward. They're going to know those htaccess settings. They're going to know what to put in the WP config. You won't even get to touch it probably. And pretty much everything will be done for you, either one-click install. One of the things I really love about Flywheel is they'll do a free site migration for you. So if you know you have a site that's on some other host like HostGator or GoDaddy, and you want it moved over to Flywheel, they'll do the migration for you. And that's for free. And then you have it for like 14 days to determine if you want to actually go live with that or not. So that's one thing I really like about them. I don't know. I know WP Engine has a migrator tool where you can add a plugin into your WordPress installation, and it'll do the migration for you. Flywheel has something like that as well. SiteGround has something like that, I think, don't they, Jen?
I believe so. I'm trying to remember what I've done with SiteGround. I think I've used it. I've only done the migrations from their staging site or just with a plugin.
Gotcha. Okay. And I know, Elaine, you use Updraft, don't you, most of the time for your migrations?
All-in-one
All in one. That's right.
All in
Yeah.
one WP, whatever it's called. All in
Gotcha.
one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay.
It's been easy.
Yeah. Well, our next question kind of has to go with this one as well. There's actually a handful of them. There's from Anitha Jenkins. We have a good question here called about plugins and updates. And let me quickly post that so I can pop it up in our little question block here. There we go. Plugins and updates. What plugin updates you can and cannot do without? I think we've kind of handled this slightly with our top 10 list, which is on our Facebook group. But I know for me, there's a handful of plugins I must have on a site. I've got to have Gravity Forms because I work for them, but also
Because you're legally and contractually.
I'm legally and contractually required to put Gravity Forms on every site I use. But yes, no, I used Gravity Forms long before I ever started working with them. I just liked it because it was the de facto form one to use, and I've used other forms engines, and I just don't like them as much. I just don't think they're as robust. I don't think their support's as good. Anything. So I'm a big Gravity Forms guy. Let's see. That's a good question. There's one popping up in Meetup in a minute. One of the other plugins, I like pods, but that's because I do a lot with custom post types and custom fields. A lot of people will use ACF instead. I think there's kind of a handful of things you have to have. You need that with the WordPress 5.8 and higher. WordPress added this thing called Tool Site Health, which is built into the WordPress core. There's a plugin that goes kind of hand in hand with that called Health Check. I think that's a necessary plugin because it allows you to very easily, if you've broken a site, figure out which theme and plugin has broken your site. It adds a troubleshooting mode that allows you to basically turn off and on plugins and themes without impacting your front end users. You need to have a backup plugin if your hosting company is not managing your backups for you. You need to have some kind of search engine tool. Sometimes, maybe, not always necessary, but most people do. Any plugins you can't deal without, Miss Jen and Elaine?
Looking to see right now what.
Migration, all in one.
Yeah.
Migrate whatever it's called, WordPress.migrate.
That handles backups too, doesn't it?
Broken link checker. That's an easy one. You got to remember to turn it off. But once in a while, you got to turn that on. It's just an easy way to tell you, all right, what has gone kablooey on your site.
Redirection is a good one too.
That's one of my always install.
Yeah.
I don't think we're supposed to say classic editor, but
classic editor, yeah,
classic editor.
and soon classic widgets.
Yes.
if the full screen editing full site editing goes mainstream.
Yes.
So yeah, that's definitely going to be one of those. We do have like I said, we did a poll on Facebook group, and I think it's still pinned to the top. I'll check to make sure. If it isn't, I'll repin it. But on our Facebook group, we did a poll of what were everybody's necessary plugins, and it kind of gave us a list of the ones that are hot. Kenneth Irwin Young adds Plugin Detective. Never heard of that one, so I have to be one I have to check out. And we got another question from from our YouTube group. Is ServerPress the same as WordPress? No. ServerPress is a local stack for running your WordPress installation on your local machine. It's basically creating a MAMP stack, which is MySQL, Apache, and what's the other one? MAMP and WordPress. PHP. So it's running MySQL, PHP, and Apache to run a WordPress emulator or a local website emulator on your local machine. ServerPress runs on both Mac and Windows, and that's pretty much what it does. Is it creates local versions so that you can run WordPress locally and do testing. I don't use it. I switched mainly because it was a memory hog. I switched to local by Flywheel. Local runs on Windows and Mac. Does it run on Unix too? I don't remember. I can't remember. I don't think so, but I mean it may. But Local by Flywheel is a free plugin, or free application as well, and it seems to run a lot better. It's a lot less of a memory hog, and it does kind of the same thing. It allows you to create local environments for testing WordPress sites on. So I would highly recommend Local by Flywheel. It does the same thing that ServerPress does, and then there's also MAMP, M-A-M-P, which would be one that you would manually install. Jose also asks, can you build web applications with WordPress? You can. You're going to be running it in that extra space, the kind of like either as a headless environment or something of that nature. So here, hang on, let me type that up again. It's Local by Flywheel. And what's the website for that? Hang on, I'll just find it real quick and share it. It is localwp.com. Hang on one second. And show that. There we go. It's localwp.com for Local by Flywheel. And yes, you can build applications with WordPress, but you're not going to be building them with WordPress. You're going to be building either a plugin that runs on top of WordPress, or you're going to be using the REST API that runs within WordPress to communicate with whatever application you're building in its own space. I'm not an expert in that particular area, but there are folks that are. If you're interested in that, we can probably get you some resources. I would ask that question on our Facebook group, and you'll get hit by a lot of folks that do that on a regular basis. Okay.
Yes, Jose has another question. Should I stop learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and learn WordPress instead?
No,
we would
you
say
will always.
All of them.
Yeah, as Matt from Automatic from WordPress.com would say, learn JavaScript deeply. But HTML is required. If you don't know HTML, you're not going to be able to do anything in the web space because it teaches you the semantics of how every web page is delivered. And you have to know those pieces in order to properly target with CSS or communicate with JavaScript to those particular model. So those three things are pretty much necessary. I don't know JavaScript. I haven't really dug into it deeply. I know how to troubleshoot some stuff with it, but I don't know it very well. Used to, with WordPress, you were pretty much required to also know PHP. That is we don't know for sure anymore.
I think it's kind of like the JavaScript. If you can, because I don't know PHP, but you start to learn to see how, what the syntax is and like where things are, and just understanding the formatting of it and how to sometimes customize a little of it.
Yeah. And we have
that knowledge will be helpful.
We recommend resource-wise going to like LinkedIn Learning, which used to be lynda.com, but LinkedIn Learning has a lot of WordPress developer classes that are actually up to date. Morten Rand Hendrickson and some of the others keep that stuff going and try to keep those up to date with the most current trends as to what languages, etc., that you probably want to like check into.
How tied into React is WordPress currently?
Jose also asks if you're going to work at the. Oh, sorry, it's a completely different question. Hang on. Are those languages ever used when developing with WordPress? Yes. You must know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to work with WordPress. PHP is an option, but that really depends on what stack you're building in. I believe. I'm not really the one that can answer that question for you. That's why I say those kind of questions are better handled on our Facebook group, and that will actually lead you into other Facebook groups that are more technical, layered for that kind of stuff. Let's see. Kenneth also says if you're going to be working at the metal layer, you're going to need to know basic PHP. I'm not sure what you mean by metal layer there, Kenneth. So now you're kind of overwhelming our questions for the moment, so we're going to pull some from our Meetup group again. Let's see. Our next one is from Ricardo, an overall picture of email configuration and management. This is actually probably the first time we've ever been asked that one. Thank you, bottom layer. Got it. Server level. Yes, if you're going to be communicating with a server, that's going to be PHP is how WordPress communicates with your web page, and everything else would be React on top of that, or JavaScript jQuery. Okay. This is a question from Ricardo from our Meetup group, RSVPs. An overall picture of email configuration management. This is a good one because it doesn't really get asked a lot. But you've got a couple of choices here. And a lot of people will actually, are used to, you would set up your email with your hosting account. Like you would get your website and you'd register a domain, and then you would handle all your email configuration with your hosting company. A lot of people still do that with GoDaddy a lot. There has been a trend to move away from that, because what ends up happening is that your hosting company becomes the primary controller of your mail, and they're not really good at that. That's not their primary focus and function. They are not email companies. They are hosting companies, website hosting companies. So I would highly recommend looking elsewhere for your email configuration. You can go to Google Apps. You can go to Microsoft, I believe, now has like one as kind of like an email or Outlook. You can run your email through Outlook with your WordPress or with your website domain. There's also
Hover.
Which one?
Hover, Hover. You could get,
I had never heard of them.
Yeah, you could. Hover does domain names, but they'll host email accounts for like $30 a year. So it's pretty.
Oh, I did not know that. Huh. Interesting. So
if
they'll do
separate it from your website. You could just do a simple email account over there at Hover.
I had never ever heard of them before. That's interesting. I've never used them for domain registration. That's probably why I switched to, Google. I mean, Google has Google Apps, so it's going to have like, email, calendar, file storage, cloud storage, stuff like that. So again, that depends on how hard you want to get into the Google space, and then there are other options beyond that as well. Okay, that's a really interesting question there. But that's pretty much the thing as far as like an overall picture of email configuration and management. It really depends on how much you want to manage it. If you are handling mailing lists, you need to look at a mailing list service like MailChimp or Email Octopus or Constant Contact, or one of those that's going to handle, sending massive amounts of emails for you. If you're just looking for email back and forth, in and out, inbox, outbox, that kind of stuff, you can handle that with your hosting company, with Google Apps, with one of the others along those lines. Gerald Higney from our YouTube asked, I have been using the Roots Persona plugin to import GEDCOM files into WordPress. It is not being updated. I have never even heard of a GEDCOM. What is a GEDCOM file? It's a plain text containing genealogical information about individuals. Okay. GEDCOM plugins with WordPress. There's a GED Show WordPress plugin. Was updated 7 months ago. There is plugins categorized as genealogy. What programs? I'm doing some searching while you guys are looking. Yeah, a lot of these are not specifically WordPress. They're much more desktop apps for opening GEDCOM files. I've never honestly dealt with this in the WordPress world.
There's a tree press that was tested with 5.9.
Yeah, the one I just looked at was like 2019 as the last update. Oh yeah, it does that. Tree press?
Yeah.
Do they have a link? Oh, there it is. I got it. That was updated less than 4 days ago. That's
a good name.
Go. Yeah, it's a good name. They decided to bond themselves with the concept. Here, let me pop this in here. There you go. Tree press.
It has kind of mixed reviews, it looks like, but it is updated.
Yeah, and that's kind of the whole thing is like when you're looking at stuff like this, it depends on what applications you used before and what their functions were and stuff like that. We always, as we have recommended before when we're talking about plugins, when you're searching the WordPress plugin in the repository, look for how the reviews are, how quickly they get back with support, and how recently it's been updated and what it's been updated to. So that one is the one that seems like came up pretty good on the WordPress search. Going back to mailing things, Kenneth recommends Sendinblue, which I've never heard of other than the fact that it came across a support question the other day. It's an all-in-one marketing platform. Okay, got it.
Did you mention the SMTP plugins? I didn't hear that.
Oh, you mean like SendGrid and
in regards to the email, because I know I usually end up having to install the I think it's just called WP SMTP. I can find the name.
Yeah, for doing like the SMTP configuration to communicate with your mailbox company. Yeah,
because otherwise it's just not. You're going to get a lot of issues.
Yeah, I end up usually using like MailSend. Is that right, or is it? Oh golly, I use it too. I know them, but I can't think of their names right off the top of my head. SendGrid, Postmark, and Mail something.
Yeah, I'm looking for the name of the one that I usually use. WP Mail SMTP by WP Forms.
Mailgun, SendGrid, and Postmark. Those are the three big ones. And they are basically mailing engines that you configure with your domain so that they will actually send your mail for you. Mainly because WordPress does not handle mail. It passes it to the server layer and lets it handle it, and oftentimes there will be issues there. Either your email will get flagged as spam when it gets received, or it'll get flagged as spam when it gets sent, or all manner of little stuff. So that's that one. Let me see where I'm finding the tree press thing. There it is. Okay. All right. Next question from our WordPress stuff. How to silently, this is a question from Kenneth. I honestly have no clue on this one. So I'm going to hope you guys do. Kenneth asked this question in when he RSVP'd. He asked how to silently read visitors' location prior to loading the web page. I don't think that's possible.
No.
What is the goal of that? Is what I'm curious about.
Kenneth's actually in our chat. So, Kenneth, if you're reading this question, you can either drop into our invite here.
I mean, if you're looking for like content, like maybe look at a CDN. Are you looking to like block IPs from certain countries? Like there are plugins
that might
for
be
that.
why. That might be why.
So it's either I'm imagining it's either blocking certain countries or trying to distribute different content. So then you look at the CDNs.
He's talking about local SEO, but you can't really do that without having them physically load the page. That's kind of the whole point. You're not going to know who they... I mean, you'll get their IP address when they make the first request to the website, but you're not going to be able to get that at that layer until your page is loaded. So I don't really think that's going to be something that you're going to be able to do. I can get it if you're trying to direct them to specific content based on where they're coming from. But hang on a second. Let me see. Delivering content based on IP address. No, that's geolocation and geotargeting. That might be an option.
Yeah, I think for
yeah,
that,
you could
would need to
do
look at the
geotargeting. Yeah, that's exactly what you'd be looking at. Geographically customized content with geotarget.
I thought his question was before you even go to the web page or something.
Well, that's kind of it though. I mean, that will load in the header before the page is presented. So it will present content to different users based on location. That's geotargeting, and that's kind of what you're looking at. Got an article here on a guide to geotargeting specific content for WordPress, but that's really old. Let me see if I can find something more current. Here's one from Kensta from November. And it talks about how to use IP geolocation with your WordPress site at Kensta. Now that's a Kensta specific thing, but it's talking about using geolocation.
Usually those services are paid because I looked.
Yeah, every one of these is paid. Yeah, they're talking about combining it with an edge-based cache system like Cloudflare. Yeah.
Yeah, they get pretty technical.
Yeah, that's going to really be beyond our
which is why they're pricey.
Yeah, that's going to be beyond our realm. So, but that's pretty much what you're looking for, Kenneth, is geotargeting. Okay, that's the key phrase anyway. And we have a question here that says how to start using WordPress. And let's review our website here and show where our sources are. I did not mean to go to the back end. I wanted to go to the front end. It's okay. Fix that real fast. All right, I'm going to share my screen, which we don't do enough of. Right? Jim, you don't do anywhere near enough sharing your screen. So here we go. Connect with Tampa Bay. There we go. All right, let me boost the text up a little bit. Come on. View. Where's the zoom in? It's not working. Oh, they changed it. That's interesting. Why in the world would they have done that? They changed the zoom shortcut on Chrome. Yeah. Why would they do that?
Because they can. I don't know.
Mean? That's the only thing I can say. So if you go to WordPress support here on our website, which is wptampabay.org, it'll talk about our support channels, but we've got a frequently asked questions on there as well. And I don't know anything about WordPress. Do you offer beginner training? And we have sources here for all of the stuff. Of course, it says lynda.com, but I think this will still, it'll still route over to.
Your last question is still up on screen, Jim.
Oh, thank you. Let me get rid of that. Oh, to hide it? Yeah, I got a point. Sorry. There you go. Thank you. And I just realized that tab didn't load because it's not the same tab. At least I don't think it did. Yeah, hang on a second. Let me share this tab instead. There you go. So this is the WordPress 5 Essential Training over at LinkedIn Learning. And it's available through lynda.com. So yeah, all of our links still from our fact page still actually will link to the right places at LinkedIn Learning. So it'll give you kind of like a breakdown on how WordPress works, how to do content management, how to work with blocks with the block editor, the whole bit. Morten Rand Hendrickson is a phenomenal instructor, and he does a really good job on these. So that's where I would start if I were going to do this again, if I didn't know what I was doing now. And let me share my tab again. We also have links here from Hillsborough County and St. Petersburg Libraries portal for lynda.com. So that basically, if you have a library card at either one of those libraries, you can use those to get to LinkedIn Learning for free. And I think actually, aren't they sharing or providing free LinkedIn Learning right now during the pandemic? I think.
Well, through the library, right?
I know it's through the library, but I think they even opened that up for during the pandemic as
Who
well.
owns it now? I can't even remember. It's LinkedIn.
LinkedIn Learning bought lynda.com. So.
I don't know at what point they make money off of it. Really.
Apparently they make a lot, because I know I've got a friend of mine who does classes on it, and they pay you to do the class, and then once you've gone past, they've earned their money back. They give you royalties on your class as well.
Wow.
Oh, what is the link to the page you were just showing? That page it's actually linked from our website, Jose. If you go to sorry people, I'm reading my question .org, and let me go. Hang on, I'll just link the whole thing in. That'll make it easier. If you go there.
Anne said she was just paying for it.
Yeah, you can go. Ann says she was paying for it directly for LinkedIn. If you have a library card in a major county, you can usually get LinkedIn Learning for free as long as you do it through the library system. They will almost always have a link for you. And Jose, that's the link for that that very first link in there is the one for that particular class at LinkedIn Learning. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing any more questions tonight. We're at like 7:11, which is not too bad.
Anne had a long question in.
She did. Where is it? In our chat or elsewhere?
WordPress. I mean, Meetup.
I'm not seeing a question from her in a Meetup.
Okay, let me read it to you.
I'm refreshing the attendees right now.
But
I see it now. I see it.
But I did put a link in the chat for Jose for beginners.
Okay.
Go to WP Beginner for all WordPress questions. They have quick answers for everything.
They do.
It's a nice resource. Of course, they steer you to buy their stuff, but whatever.
Yeah. I still use them too, though. Pasco, and I don't know. You'd have to check with that library system. Just ask them. Almost every single library system has access to do that. So this is a question from Anne that was on our Meetup group. I did a website using the 2021 theme and a plugin called Options for 2021. For the life of me, I can't figure out how to make the logo bigger on the mobile version. Any ideas? So is this the 2021 theme? You mean the WordPress? Okay, hang on a second. Let me see what we can figure out. We'll do a little bit of play-in here. Give me just a second to pull up my local again. And I will add both of those things and share it. Give me just a second. So I'll turn that off. Options for 2021. So share. Share screen. Share tab. All right. Okay. Let me go to the back end. Change that to the 2021 theme. Appearance themes. There's 2020, 2021. Activate. And you said options plugin, huh? Oh, that's not there. It'd be an add new. Come on, Jim. You know how to do this. Right? Options for 2021. There we go. Install now. Okay. Activate. Alrighty.
That little icon for the whatever was adorable.
Which one? I missed
the little dinosaur widget options.
Aww.
It moves. How cute is that?
They come up with new plugins. It's hard to stay up on it.
It's so cute. I want to use it just for that little dinosaur.
Okay, ask us anything. It would probably be in your header options. Header background, background image, homepage min height, header padding top, logo size. Change the maximum width of the site logo in the header. Not seeing if there's any mobile settings there, but let's set logo first, I guess.
That's the logo size. Is that not working?
Has to be from mobile.
Yeah. So let me get a logo in there first, I guess, which is probably not for some reason. That would be in general, I guess. Oh my, there's a lot of options there.
Wow.
That really does turn. Oh, site identity. That's where those things are, of course. Select logo. Here, you look like a logo. Don't pick on poor little old J.K. Rowling. It's not her fault. Not today, anyway. There. So we've created a logo. All right. Let's go down to mobile size. Oops. That was festive. Let's see. That looks like it's a mobile. Yeah, there we go. We're in mobile. So you want to change the size of that. Header options. Okay, logo size. So this is the maximum width. So, ta-da. Center. I'm not seeing anything about minimum size. Do you guys, is Ann asked any additional questions on that one? As in, like, maybe, hang on.
She just said it didn't work on the mobile.
For the life of me, I can't figure out how to make the logo bigger on the mobile version.
Oh, I just showed you.
I know. Yeah.
So that's how. So that would be how you would do that. You would go to underneath header options, under just lost it again. It's all at the top. Logo size. Change the maximum width of the site logo in the site header. It starts at like I think 100 pixels, or maybe 100. Oh, it's 150, and you just change that, make it bigger.
What happens when you click on that pencil? Where does that go?
Which pencil?
The pencil
This
that's
one?
like to the left of her face.
It takes you to site identity logo, which is how that should work. Because because that takes you to the Ask Us Anything. The sub tagline takes you to the tagline. Basically, with the they don't even tell you what size to use for your logo either, for that matter. So,
okay, Ann is replying in the chat now. It didn't work on the mobile. Let me try that. I might be spacey, but I swear I tried that.
Okay.
Now,
That's
just
cool.
go over again how you got to mobile view.
Okay. I dragged the window, is what I did. Because WordPress does not give you a simple way to look at the site in a mobile view. I just dragged the window, is what I did in this theme.
So go ahead. Drag it to the mobile size. Okay.
Yeah, until the menu flips over to the hamburger menu.
Okay.
Yeah. There are some themes that do... Oh, actually, there's... what is that little guy? I don't know what that is. That looks creepy. I'm looking at some odd little options down here, but I don't know what they are. I think they're queer. Oh, wait a minute. I'm an idiot. Can you see these three little things right here? On my, on the window, the hide controls that shows like a full size.
Yeah.
Tablet, mobile.
Hit the mobile. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
That's the mobile.
Yeah, it is the mobile. So that's how you could control those. Okay. That's tablet. That's full size.
So just play with it some more.
Okay. So I clicked mobile and I went into header options because we're talking about the header. And I went into mobile, logo size here. There do not appear to be any mobile specific settings, but maybe they are for another drop down. Let me check if there's anything specific to mobile. I am not seeing anything specific to mobile. All of these with the weird little gear are the ones that are coming from the 2021 options. So all of those right there are the ones that are coming from 2021 options. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful. Okay, I'm back. Alrighty. I don't know how I missed that question. I feel bad now.
I guess she was one of the earlier attendees who put a question.
Yeah, I just but it was so weird because it didn't show it until I refreshed the RSVP list again. So I just did another refresh. I'm not seeing anything newer since then. So
okay, she says there are some, but not related to the header logo. What do you think she's saying?
There are some, but not related to the header logo. She just said thank you, so I think maybe she just saw it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the worst thing about doing chat with YouTube. Everything that we say is a couple minutes behind.
She asked it right before she
logged on. Got it. That explains it. Okay. So I just hadn't refreshed. Yeah, there's no mobile options, and that's the problem. They're not listed in the, what do you call it? They're not listed inside those menu options. So yeah, when you're doing that one for that particular logo, it was in header options and then logo size. And also, if you've got a link to the site and it's not working properly, I could take a look at the CSS and we could see if there's some custom CSS that can be added that can make it do what you need it to do. Okay. So, and remember, you can also ask us questions on Facebook group. So if we don't answer tonight, you can also ask on Facebook group and we will try to answer you there. Okay?
Or join Slack. Yeah.
Or join Slack, yes. Both of them work. We tend to be pretty much, we all pay attention to both of those quite a bit. So I look at Facebook probably every day at lunchtime. That's when I check it. And then Slack I'm on all day long. So I pretty much see anything that pops through there. So. All right, we are at 7:21, which is pretty much close to an hour. So I think we've done a very good job of handling all of our questions today. Thank you again, everybody that dialed in and asked questions. Thank you, Jose. Thank you for Anne. Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Who else asked questions? I think that was it. Oh, Gerald. Thank you, Gerald. And everyone that dialed in, we have 9 people watching. Please make sure you like us and subscribe to us on YouTube. They help our numbers quite a bit. They make things go better. It's all wonderful stuff. Anitha, thank you for joining. I did answer one of your questions earlier. So yeah, thank you again for joining here as well. Am I a developer? No, I am not. I used to be a developer, but it's what we called WordPress developers back in the day, which was I built websites and I knew enough about custom post types and database stuff. But no, I do not consider myself a developer by any means anymore. So anyway, like and subscribe to us on YouTube. That will help our numbers quite a bit. Make sure that you also head over to our website, which is wptampabay.org. We will see you next month, March 1st. At 6:30 for another one of these. And thank you as always for attending, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching a recorded session from WordPress St. Petersburg Meetup. We meet once a month on the first Tuesday of the month, live streaming online through our YouTube channel and Facebook group. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when new videos are added. Find out more about WordPress St. Petersburg at our website at wptampabay.org.